In this video, I'm going to share with you why commercial property is a lucrative investment in 2025. There are three parameters that you must have to understand that what I believe is an important part to decide about commercial property. And if you are on the fence, if you are thinking that residential property is the way to go, I would challenge you with these thoughts. Like why residential property is kind of a dead investment now. It is not going to make money. It is actually lose money for the next 10 years. You would be not thinking like that is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. So let me tell you that why commercial property is a lucrative investment. The first thing is the interest rate. Right now, the interest rate, you will believe that it's on top peak. Like, in fact, we have just got a 25 basis point cut. So basically government is, or all the economists or all the strategists, they're already seeing that it is on the peak. If it goes even more, like if the interest rate can go 8%, there would be a lot of problems. It is going to be a huge challenge. So because the interest rate is on the top, which is actually an opportunity for you to buy commercial property. Why? Because as the interest rate is on top, which is like, let's say 6% right now, and that 6% means it is possible to get a commercial property cash flow deal where the net cash flow is around 7%. So 6% is the interest rate and it is possible to get 7% net cash flow. On an average, I'm talking about, it is possible to get 6%, it is possible to get 8%, but average around 7% is possible. So what it means is that 6% is the interest and 7% is the net cash. So let's say $1 million property that can give you $70,000 net return, and assuming you took 100% loan, so $60,000 you are paying, you can still get to keep $10,000 at the end of the year. Now what it means that if tomorrow the interest rate, which we are predicting that it is going to go down, and if it goes to 5%, then instead of 10,000, now you would be keeping 20,000 as a positive cash flow, because earlier you was paying 60,000, now you'd be paying 50,000 to the bank as a form of interest. Very simple calculation. What is going to happen if the interest rate goes down to 4%? Then you'll get to keep $30,000 because now you'll be paying only 40,000 to the bank. And this is the prediction that is going to happen. This is the prediction that I am saying that most people are going towards, that the interest rate is going to go down. It is the all-time high, or rather in the peak, at least for the next decade or so. So there is no way it can go up, because it cannot go up if you can buy a commercial property now, which is around 7% return, which will only give you more and more income in future, because the interest that you will be paying will be less and less. And that is one of the reasons that you will be paying less amount. You will be paying the less amount right now, because as the interest rate will go down, this property value is going to go up automatically. The same argument you can say that, Soumen, then what about my residential properties? But in residential properties, is not only about the property price, it's not only about the interest that you are paying. In residential property, what we also call is about the outgoings, or all the expenses that the landlord pays, which is not the case in a commercial property. So in residential property, no matter what, the land tax is going to keep going up. As anybody would say that, today's land tax is X and tomorrow it would be less than X, is lying, because the land tax is also keep on going up. Anybody saying that the council rates is not going to go up is lying. Anybody saying insurance is not going to go up, lying. So every other cost is going to go up in residential property. So even the interest rate goes down, all this cost is going to eat up your rent, and eventually you will have a less cash flow. That is how commercial property is so lucrative. That is how commercial property, you would be thinking that why you should not be buying commercial property right now. So that's the number one reason which commercial property is lucrative in 2025. The second one that commercial property is so lucrative is what I call yield compression. So in 2025, again, because the interest rate is high, then of course you are looking around 7% return. So what will happen is that once the interest rate goes to 4% or 5%, then this property, at that time, if you want to buy a property, then you will not get a 7% return. You will get about 6% return. You would get about 5%. If the interest rate goes to 3%, then you will get 5% return. So for the same, what it means that for the same property, you will pay more. So let's say a $70,000 net rent that is coming from a property that you are paying $1 million now. If it is a 5% return, then the same $70,000, that means you have to pay $1.4 million. And that is the point. The property price that right now in commercial is at par with the interest rate, but then when the interest rate will go down, the same property value is going to go up. And so basically you will be paying more money to buy that same commercial property. So right now you have the double whammy. You are getting kind of a discounted rate, and the same time you're getting the cash flow, positive cash flow, plus you would be getting growth when there would be an yield compression because the interest rate goes down. So this one of the important factor to understand, that yield will compress, and the vice versa is also true. If the interest rate goes up, the yield will not compress, it will just expand. So that means, like, if you're buying a 7% return, then that might go 8%, 9%. So you need to think like which way the interest rate is going to go, and if you believe the interest rate is going to go down, then the yield will be compressed. If you think that interest rate is going to go up, then of course yield is going to expand as well. And the third reason that you would be buying a commercial property right now is because of the migration. Australia needs a net migration population, because as a country we are not producing enough babies. As a country we are, the people are living longer. To serve those old age populations, you need Medicare facilities, you need all of the services, and that can provide by the young populations. But the young people we are not producing young people enough, which is why our only weapon is to get the migration. And those migrated people, which is like a fresh 25-30 years old, they will be getting the permanent residency, and they'll be coming here and start working there. Now think about, because the net population that is coming in, which means that this will put a pressure on your house price. And again, you can argue that yes, it is going to go up the property price on the residential property. But remember what I said earlier, in the residential property, still the expenses is going to go up. In commercial property, remember, for every single residential requirement, there is a commercial requirement as well. Because these people, they have to eat out, they have to go for a movies, they have to buy stuff. For all reasons, the new suburbs is going to set it up, and the new commercial properties will come as well. So there is always going to be demand in the commercial properties. But what you can see is that because there will be more and more people who will be looking to buy commercial property, there will be more competition. Because there will be more competition, then you will be seeing that property price going to go up as well. So if you can buy it now, that is almost sure shot that you will make more money in future, plus you are getting cash flow. So every angle, if you look, that you will be satisfied to say that yes, buying commercial property right now is the most lucrative opportunity in 2025. If you keep on waiting, if you wait for another few years, perhaps this opportunity might not come. So if financial independence is your goal, ask yourself these questions. Why not? If you can afford, if you can buy, perhaps you have equity from your home, perhaps you have this, perhaps you have kind of a investment property that the equity you can tap on and invest into commercial. Just buy only one commercial property and see the magic that happens, because every month when you collect rent, you will be seeing that it is working perfectly. I was listening yesterday one of the person, and he said that I don't want to do the cross collateralization, which is like taking the equity from my own home and then buying commercial property. I would rather separate it out. But let me tell you something. If you are taking loan from the bank, bank is going to come after you if you are not paying. So if you have equity, they are going to chase for that equity anyway. So find out what's your options right now, the best options. And if the best option is that probably to have to take equity and buy commercial property, go for it. Because if you cannot take that risk, which is giving you positive cash flow, which is giving you, and you're still working on that, then when would you take that risk? And my point is that this is the same way I actually become financially independent, of taking a calculated risk in a way that I can buy commercial property and make my financial goal achieved. So these are the reasons why you should be looking into 2025 as a lucrative opportunity for commercial property. I hope you find this video helpful. If you like this video, consider subscribing my channel, turn the notification bell on, so you get to see more videos like this, and it will also help me to reach out to more people like you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.